Like whatever works for you, do it. If I want to
हाँ
work 18 hours a day, I'll work. Like तुम कौन हो? If I'm not saying the problem starts when people start preaching it कि सबको करना चाहिए, सबको work
हाँ
life balance चाहिए, सबको 18 hour ये चाहिए, right? Like when the founder on LinkedIn did that, just he didn't really mean it. 18 was just a metaphor
yeah
that he wanted to
yeah
use
yeah
for hard work. But I mean, India, यार, like सब out of context ले लेते हैं. He also saw the power of bringing great people together. You can learn so much from people by just talking to them, right? Like so many
हाँ
people learned more from just talking to a product manager than taking a course on Udemy. That power of community and the power of bringing opportunities to people had zero social interactions and did not speak to anyone. It was just working on this all day, all night, and just khana, even not even interacting with my parents. Like I was living with my parents, but at the same time not living with my parents.
बिट्स पिलानी से बहुत सारे फाउंडर्स निकले इन स्पेशली इन वन लास्ट डेकेड सो व्हाट डू यू
Hmm.
थिंक कि क्या होता है लाइक वहाँ पे क्या डिफरेंशिएटर पॉइंट है बिट्स पिलानी का कि वहाँ से इतने सारे फाउंडर्स हमें मिल रहे हैं
I think it's very simple. There are two reasons, right? The first one is कि BITS में there's no attendance. So as long
राइट
as you're passing exams, it's fine. And that gives you a lot of time to work on other things as well. And the second reason is
Welcome back on this Diwali special episode of Entrepreneur Talks by the Spotlight India. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आप सभी को और आपकी फैमिली को हैप्पी दिवाली टीम स्पॉटलाइट इंडिया की तरफ से। और इस दिवाली को और धमाकेदार बनाने के लिए आज हमारे साथ है ब्लूलर्न के को फाउंडर हरीश उथया कुमार ए क्यूरियस हरीश। हरीश बिट्स पिलानी के स्टूडेंट थे और उन्होंने ब्लूलर्न की भी शुरुआत वहाँ पर ही करी थी। ब्लूलर्न इज़ इंडियाज़ लार्जेस्ट एक्टिव स्टूडेंट्स कम्युनिटी। और मैंने इस पॉडकास्ट में अपनी 100% ट्राई किया है कि हरीश की वो साइड और बातें आपको जानने को मिले जो आपने उनके दूसरे वीडियोस और पॉडकास्ट में ना देखी हो। इस पॉडकास्ट में आपको क्लियरली पता चल जाएगा कि हरीश एज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर किस तरीके से ऑपरेट करते हैं और किस तरीके से वो सोचते हैं। Also, apart from these topics, you will also get to know about how Harish has handled mental toll of entrepreneurship. किस तरीके से entrepreneurship ने हरीश और उनके माइंडसेट को चेंज किया है। सो इफ़ यू वांट टू गेन मोर वैल्यू, if you want to learn more about entrepreneurship, then watch this episode till the end. And if you are someone who prefers audio version of podcast, then just go and search Entrepreneur Talks by the Spotlight India, because now we are available on all the major audio platforms. Listen to it and give us 5-star ratings, because हमको इंडिया में नंबर 1 बनना है इन entrepreneurship कैटेगरी। So now, without wasting any further time, this is Harish Uthayakumar aka Curious Harish, like never seen before on Entrepreneur Talks. Hi Harish, what's up? How are you doing?
hi Utsav, thanks for having me. Yeah, I mean I'm doing well. I'm just very tired today because I slept very late कल. तो अभी 1 बजे उठा हूँ मैं.
Right, founder's life.
नहीं ब्रो, आई थिंक कल फोन पे था मैं बहुत देर फाउंडर लाइफ में.
अच्छा, ठीक है। तो कैसा चल रहा है अभी? क्या चल रहा है इन लेटेस्ट, लाइक इन Bluelearn? What are some of the things that you guys are building right now?
Right now we are working on something interesting. It's a freelance marketplace.
Okay.
So it's like Upwork or Fiverr or Freelancer for India. So that's where most of our efforts are going into. और उसके अलावा we are launching a lot of clubs. So we recently launched the meme club where a lot of people are sharing memes. We are going to launch a couple of location-based clubs. There's a Bangalore club,
हाँ,
Ahmedabad club, a Mumbai club. तो या क्लब्स एंड द फ्रीलांस मार्केटप्लेस, ये दो चीजें अभी के लिए चल रहे हैं.
राइट, दैट्स कूल। सिर्फ हमारे ऑडियंस को कॉन्टेक्स्ट देने के लिए कैन यू जस्ट एक्सप्लेन इन अ ब्रीफ कि Bluelearn क्या है?
Oh yeah, sure. So Bluelearn helps you meet smart people and get access to great opportunities. So our belief is that talent is everywhere, but opportunity isn't. जैसे मैं और श्रेयांश बिट्स से आते हैं. At BITS we had great people, a lot of clubs, great placements, a lot of freelancing opportunities, but that's not true for 99% of India. So we're trying to do it for everyone.
Right, right, fascinating. Coming back to the BITS Pilani. BITS Pilani है या BITS Pilani है?
Bits Bits
बिट्स
Pilani.
पिल
Yeah.
बिट्स पिलानी ओके नो सो आई एम अ कॉमर्स स्टूडेंट सो मुझे
चलता
नहीं
चलता है. It's
हुआ
fine. It's fine.
राइट सो लाइक बिट्स पिलानी से बहुत सारे फाउंडर्स निकले इन स्पेशली इन वन लास्ट डेकेड की जहाँ से वहाँ से लाइक
Hmm.
बहुत सारे इंडियन स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम में जो फाउंडर्स है वो बिट्स पिलानी से सो व्हाट डू यू
Hmm.
थिंक कि क्या होता है लाइक वहाँ पे क्यों ऐसा है कि व्हाट क्या इकोसिस्टम है वहाँ का या तो फिर किस तरीके से स्टूडेंट्स इंटरेक्ट विद ईच अदर क्या डिफरेंशिएटर पॉइंट है बिट्स पिलानी का कि वहाँ से इतना सारे फाउंडर्स हमें मिल रहे हैं
I think it's very simple. There are two reasons, right? The first one is ki bits mein there's no attendance. So as long
राइट
as you're passing exams, it's fine, and that gives you a lot of time to work on other things as well. And the second reason is since like at least the Pilani campus is very old, probably like more than 50, 60, 100 years old. So what happens is when you have legacy, you'll have great alumni, right? Like Swiggy's founder Shreyansh is from BITS, Big Basket's founders from BITS, like a lot of you know like early stage startups that you see around or that you might have heard of are from BITS, right? Like Pixel, for example, it's
हाँ
one of India's largest space tech startups. They launch satellites. It's from BITS. So when you hear of a lot of these stories right from your first year of college, तो तुम्हें भी लगता है कि अच्छा मे बी इवन आई कैन गिव इट अ शॉट राइट अगर ये बंदा जो
राइट
मेरे कॉलेज में था उसने ऐसे किया है तो why can't I right so you always have examples to look up to तो आई थिंक ये दोनों चीजों की वजह से होता है एक तो you have time तो तुम्हें सोचने का टाइम मिलता है एक्सेप्ट योर एकेडमिक्स और सेकेंड चीज ये है कि देयर आर ऑलरेडी पीपल हु हैव जिन्होंने उखाड़ के रखा है तो you look up to them and you're like why can't I do it
राइट राइट ट्रू अभी अभी मुझे ये पूछना है कि यू अपलोडेड योर फर्स्ट वीडियो ऑन यूट्यूब व्हेन यू वर इन थर्ड स्टैंडर्ड राइट
yeah
या सो उसके बाद से तुम वीडियो रखते गए देन आई लाइक आई सॉ योर यूट्यूब चैनल फिर उसमें था वो फ्लेम्स वाला यूट्यूब वीडियो बहुत ऐसा इंटरेस्टिंग था ब्लू एंड येलो फ्लेम वाला जो था वो वाला था
yeah
फिर वहां से यू एक्सपेरिमेंटेड विद लॉट ऑफ अदर थिंग्स देन वो बिट्स पिलानी अ डे इन द बिट्स पिलानी गोवा हॉस्टल वाला तो फिर पीजी हाउस वाला वो तुम्हारा वीडियो चल गया उसके बाद से ये वाला तो मुझे ये पूछना है कि तुम्हें ये हुआ था कि क्रिएटर बनूं या कहीं पे था कि वो क्रिएटर से एंटरप्रेन्योर वाला ट्रांजिशन कैसे है बिकॉज यू आर गेटिंग गुड अमाउंट ऑफ व्यूज ऑन यूट्यूब तो वो वाले ट्रैक पे क्यों नहीं गए कि नहीं चलो यूट्यूबर बनते हैं या तो फिर क्रिएटर बनते हैं लाइक यूट्यूबिंग इज ऑल्सो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप भी मैं बोल सकता हूँ उसको भी बट वो
yeah
वाला ऑप्शन क्यों नहीं लिया एंड व्हाई यू डिसाइडेड कि नहीं ऐसा कुछ करता है एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में जाता हूँ
for me YouTube is boring man like
ओके
it's just you sitting in a room talking like it's कितने ही साल करूंगा do I want to do this for the next 5 10 years of my life no like do I
ओके
want to do it for fun yes so it definitely helped me a lot like as you said right running a YouTube channel is like running a startup and इट्स ग्रेट लाइक फॉर द 2020 2021 में जब कोविड का टाइम था उसके बिना कुछ होता ही नहीं था लाइक इवन ब्लू लर्न started because I started YouTubing and I understood a lot of problems around and that's how it started. Abhi I rarely upload. I upload like once or twice or thrice a month. So
राइट
the thing is after a while when I actually started building Blue
हम्म
Learn, I get fun when I'm creating something and the work speaks for itself. Rather than me
राइट
coming on camera and be like, hey guys, मैं हूँ हरीश और मैं दुनिया बदलने वाला हूँ. Like, screw that. I want Blue Learn to change the world and I want to be the creator behind the scenes. I think that's where I get my joy. And being in an office, working together with a great team, we're like 30 people right now, and like working with them, getting ideas, brainstorming, talking to some of the smartest people in the ecosystem. That's what gives me joy. And seeing people use things that I've made, like that's what makes me smile. YouTube का scene ऐसा है कि YouTube is a it's called attention economy, right? Everyone's
हम्म
fighting for attention, right?
हम्म
Ankur Warikoo is like time management, or someone else will be like, Byju's का loss क्यों हो रहा है? Someone else will be like, ये TikTok star का roast कर रहा है. Like it's so many things in one go कि you're like, मतलब किसको देखना है,
हाँ
right? And most users will click on few videos. And then
हाँ
तुम्हें भी वही attention वाले game में जाना है जहाँ पे you start making clickbait videos, you start, acting as if you're some other person. Like I am the
हम्म
same on camera in person. I don't want to act like a different person on camera or like a productivity person on camera just because that's what people want.
That's what, हाँ.
तो like ऐसे लगता है कि YouTube में I'm an actor or I'm a puppet who's dancing to what other people are saying, but I don't want to be that person. I want to live like I wanna like, and I don't like you know make any money off YouTube anyway. So it's fine. But I love creating videos, right? So I don't.
Yeah.
At this point, I've reached a like right now I'll upload, right? Because it's my hobby. I love
हाँ.
filming. Like
हाँ.
filming is such a delightful thing to do. Like तुम 10 साल बाद देखोगे तो तुम्हें समझ में आएगा कि अच्छा Harish used to live
हाँ.
like this, or things were so nice, and like you'll relive those memories because you were filming. So उसके लिए I'll film, I'll document everything. लोगों को देखना है तो देखने दो, नहीं देखना है तो नहीं देखने दो, मेरा कुछ नहीं जा रहा है. Like it's fine, right? So that's how my perspective has changed. If you had asked me the same question a year back, I would have said that, I'll make a lot of videos, I'll become a creator, but abhi, I don't find it as exciting as building a company.
Right. So like you are uploading video just for your own fun और वो चलता रहेगा, अगर उससे
Yeah.
कुछ मिलता है तो ठीक है, बाकी कोई बात नहीं. अभी 100% फोकस स्टार्टअप के ऊपर है, ब्लूलर्न के ऊपर है.
Yes.
Right. Like what kind of state of mind are you in right now? Abhi, as a whole, like last 1 month या अभी.
It goes through a lot of changes. Like sometimes it's very stressful. Like I think first few days I wasn't able to sleep much because there's just Bangalore is a very fast city. There's a lot going on every single day, right? You're meeting new people, there are things happening, you're stuck in traffic, you're like what's right from your maid calling you and being ki chabi kahan pe rakha hai to talking to your co-founder about what's next to figuring out some fight issue कोई एक टीम में हो गया तो like there's so many things happening, right? So talking to investors, like there's just a lot. So it was stressful, but I think over time I've started to realize कि work और personal life ऐसे कुछ है नहीं मेरे लिए अभी. Like everything is just, it's like a game. So every day I wake up thinking कि I'm gonna play a great game today and let's see how I'm gonna, what's my score. So like right from waking up on time to having breakfast to hitting the gym to like coordinating with the teams to making sure that every second of mine is spent in the right place, I think of it as a game.
Right.
तो ऐसे work या फिर personal life या home life ऐसे कुछ नहीं है. It's just one single day and I think I'm enjoying it. I like the flow. Sometimes I do need a break. Like I think last couple of weeks I've been kind of overburning myself. So like next week I'll be at home for Diwali. So that'll be a nice break to sort of, get back my creativity.
Right, right. So I did a podcast with Pratilipi's founder, Ranjit. You
Yeah, I
know,
met him. Yeah.
yeah. So he told me this one very interesting thing that every entrepreneur goes through this कि like entrepreneurship ना इतना टॉप्सी टर्वी जर्नी है. Like आधे घंटे पहले आपको लगेगा कि यार what a company we are building, what a team I have,
Yeah.
fantastic, बहुत अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बनाने वाला है ऐसे. एंड उसके आधे घंटे बाद तुरंत ही लगेगा कि क्या शिट फक ऑल प्रोडक्ट है मेरा, और क्या ही मेरी टीम है, इसको कुछ नहीं आता, मैंने इसके साथ बोल रहा हूँ. सो यू गो थ्रू दिस हाइज एंड लोज एवरी डे.
Yeah.
Every day. And this you have to do it. Like he's a veteran, right? He's into like 8th or 9th year of building a startup, Pratilipi. So he told me this कि और ये मैंने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया है कि ये होने वाला है, और ये मैं इतने सालों से मैं हो रहा हूँ. सो लाइक entrepreneurship, जो जितने भी लोग, like our audience is very young, so जितने भी लोग entrepreneurship सोच रहे हैं, like it's a long term game. तुमको लॉन्ग टर्म सोच के ही आना पड़ेगा. 1-2 साल के फन के लिए जाओगे तो फिर नहीं
Yeah.
होगा
You won't
बॉस.
you won't even become rich, right? I think
Yeah.
like wealth is created in the long term and mostly it's created in form of equity. And
Equity,
equity
yeah.
is a long-term game. Like वो एक दो साल में you'll only get salary, right?
हाँ.
Which founders don't even take that much. For those of you
हाँ.
listening, like I'm not the highest paid employee in my company. Like there are other people who are paid more. So that's the leave that aside. And for you to like equity का फायदा तभी होगा when you raise large rounds like Series C plus or when you IPO. And both of these are 5+ year games. So if you really want to build wealth, if you want to become an Ashneer grower, then you have to stay for long. And yeah.
लॉन्ग टर्म गेम खेलना ही जरूरी है. लाइक शॉर्ट टर्म थिंकिंग अगर रखोगे तो लाइक एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में सर्वाइव करवाना काफी डिफिकल्ट हो ही जाएगा. दैट वाज द कंसिस्टेंट आंसर व्हिच आई got from all the
Yeah.
entrepreneurs. Another thing I want to ask you this, you told you know spoke in the last answer that you are meeting so many people, you are meeting so many interesting people, so many founders like कि जो like shit कर दिए, like you met with Kunal Bahl. What Kunal Bahl, like in that 1 hour of period, what Kunal Bahl told you कि ये चीजें करो, ये चीजें अवॉइड करो और ये चीजों पे फोकस करो, यहाँ से ज्यादा ग्रोथ आ सकता है.
Uh, like the time I spoke with, I mean, I haven't interacted a lot with Kunal, but
हाँ.
like at least from the few interactions we've had, first call though, it wasn't really about like, what kya karna chahiye, kya nahi karna chahiye. It was more about just brainstorming together, right? So
हम्म.
he'll ask a couple of critical questions and he'll brainstorm with us, right? So pehle we used to run this company called Clinify, which was like Bluelearn ka pehla avatar. And there we were like, कि अच्छा ये that time we were trying to build a marketplace of cohort place courses and stuff like that. So
हाँ.
we were just asking कि ऐसा क्यों है, ऐसा क्यों नहीं है, और कौन कर रहा है, what can we do differently? So he'll ask those questions and he'll brainstorm with us, right? That was one
हाँ.
thing, right? Where you, ऐसा नहीं है कि just because you're an investor, you'll be like, तुम answer करो. He's like, I'm
हम्म.
in your team, right? Let's
हम्म.
do it together. And questions like, how are we different? Like these, when you use the word we, it's like he won't ask you how are you different from your competitor. He'll ask how are we different, which already
हम्म.
proves that you're already on my side. You're already like supporting us, and now
हम्म.
we are like a team who's going against everyone else, right?
Yeah.
So I think those were a few things that I really learned. The power of like asking right questions and helping us, and even giving your opinion, and at the same
हाँ.
time considering the other person to be in your team, rather than just saying कि तुम अकेले solve करो. So that's pretty much what I learned from Kunal. And Snapdeal's journey has also been crazy, right? They've gone through a lot
Yeah.
of ups and downs,
Yeah.
and he's been very resilient throughout.
हम्म.
And Kunal's someone who responds to your WhatsApp message in like a second. I don't know how he finds the time to do that, but that's another thing that I really want to learn from him.
राइट. सो लाइक माय एक्चुअल क्वेश्चन वाज दिस कि तुम इतने सारे लाइक स्मार्ट इंसान से मिल रहे हो, इतने सारे और फाउंडर्स से मिल रहे हो, सो बिकॉज यू आर एट सच अ यंग एज राइट नाउ, वेल्थ तो कंपाउंड होगी, वो तो है ही, बट तुम्हारा नॉलेज बहुत फास्ट कंपाउंड हो रहा है बिकॉज यू आर
Hmm.
हियरिंग अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. सो हाउ आर यू कीपिंग अप विद दैट? बिकॉज दिमाग में थोड़ी जगह है, उसको थोड़ा फ्री भी रहना पड़ेगा, बाकी बहुत ओवरवेलम हो जाएगा.
Yeah.
तो like how are you dealing with that, because you are getting advices and all those knowledge from right, left and center, तो उससे कैसे डील कर रहे हो?
So the thing is, you don't need everyone's advice, right?
हम्म.
Even if people are smart, you know your business the best, right?
Right.
Like we have investors who have MBAs from Stanford Graduate School, and they also say the same thing. We leave it up to you. Tum decide karo. This is my opinion, but you decide. You know your customers better. You know
हाँ.
your users better. You know the field better. It's your job, right? So even
हम्म.
if I talk to like say the founder of Zerodha, Nitin Kamath, he would not know as much about Bluelearn as I would. I have way more context, right? I
Right.
have way more context on what's going to happen in the next 1 year. He might have
हाँ.
his own opinion, but I don't have to take that unless it
हम्म.
makes a lot of sense, right? So
हम्म.
I think forming your own independent opinion about everything is very important. लोग
हम्म.
सारी जगह से फेंकेंगे ज्ञान, but you have to decide कि which one makes sense, which one doesn't,
हम्म.
and how you wanna take a call. There are so many times when I go against everyone. Like I have a very
हम्म.
counterintuitive thought than pretty much everyone, right? And
हम्म.
sometimes it pans out well, and if it does not, then ठीक है, you're improving your own judgment, right? So I
Right.
think having your own judgment is important. और यही है यार, कितने भी बड़े छोटे लोगों से बात कर लो, like you have to
हाँ.
build your own business, man. It's no one's gonna handhold you, but it's nice to
Right.
talk to them, right? Because they've been there, as you said, they're veterans, so
हाँ.
वो फायदा होता है. But then ultimately you have to build your own stuff.
राइट. बट ऑन अ जजमेंट वाला पार्ट, कि
Hmm.
जब जजमेंट व्हेन यू आर गोइंग अगेंस्ट योर टीम एंड यू आर सेइंग कि नहीं यही करते हैं, एंड योर टीम इम्प्लीमेंटेड ऑन दैट एंड फिर वो नहीं चलता,
Hmm.
सो
बहुत बार हुआ है.
हाँ, सो डू यू
Yeah.
इजीली फॉरगिव योरसेल्फ, और कि टाइम लगता है फिर वो एक्सेप्ट करने में?
Yeah, I mean, I do go hard on myself, but yeah, I mean, after a point, you just accept it.
हाँ, कि ठीक है, इट्स पार्ट ऑफ अ जर्नी.
Yeah, like I'll give you an example, right? Like earlier
हाँ
I used to tell people to ship products directly. दिमाग में कुछ आया तो we used to be like design करो, code करो. But
हाँ
then eventually I learned कि a lot of things did not work out well. So I was like, let's write about it. Like even
हम्म
Shreyansh, my co-founder, he made a format and then we started writing about why we should even build it in the first place. What
हाँ
data do we have to build this? Like it's called a PRD, right? Product requirements document. So we started writing a lot of PRDs. So eventually you learn, right? So those mistakes in a way do help you.
right right and talking about Shreyansh like why you guys are decided कि तुम दोनों co-founder बनते हो how you guys decided कि he is the best fit for you and you are the best fit for him like it was like
Hmm.
is there a story or you just guys decided randomly कि कुछ चालू करते हो और फिर चालू करती है
I mean, we met in first year of college. We were friends first, founders second. We have been working on projects together for 4 years now. So we've known each other, right?
हाँ
Like we know each other very well professionally, personally, sab kuch. So it was kind of the best fit, right? Because he इसको भी college placements वगैरह में नहीं बैठना था. He was
हाँ
also very I want to do something different from everyone else kind of person. Even I was a similar kind of person. We both were the only people who like spoke about startups in our hostel. So it just naturally happened, right? And I think our skills are also complementary. I think of wild moonshot ideas. He brings me to reality. So he asks me the hard questions and keeps me accountable. So it helps. And same goes for me also. Like I try my best to ask him the hard questions and keep him accountable.
हम्म
So he handles a lot of finance, legal, सारी चीजें जो मुझे बिल्कुल समझ में नहीं आती है. So
हम्म
I think that way it's been helping us pretty much. We fight pretty much every day. I think that's
हम्म
required to run the company forward. So yeah.
right and like what kind of stuff do you handle in the company majorly
I handle marketing and product.
you had marketing and product right now the interesting thing that you said in the last answer कि तुम्हारे हॉस्टल में तुम दो ही लोग थे जो स्टार्टअप के बारे में बात करते थे या तो फिर स्टार्टअप बिल्ड करना है ऐसा कुछ करना है एंड लॉट ऑफ अदर नाउ आई वांट टू आस्क यू दिस व्हेन यू आर इन कॉलेज कि जब
Mm,
भी तुम एक एक डिग्री कर रहे हो या तो ऐसा कर रहे हो जहाँ पे मेजोरिटी ऑफ द पीपल होंगे वो लोग पढ़ाई कर रहे होंगे देवर कि अच्छे ग्रेड्स आने ये करने बिकॉज प्लेस अच्छे ग्रेड्स आएंगे तो प्लेसमेंट अच्छा मिलेगा you two guys are doing this startup wala thing and you said in one of your interview also कि they were calling you startup guy he was a startup guy ऐसा तो वो स्पॉटलाइट इफेक्ट तुरंत ही तुम्हारे ऊपर है क्योंकि वहां पे तो बहुत सारे लोग हैं यहाँ पे दो तीन लोग ही हो तुम लोग तो
yeah.
उससे कैसे डील किया तुमने क्योंकि अगर कुछ भी चला जाता यू मेंशन अबाउट लक इन सो मेनी ऑफ इंटरव्यूज बट अगर नहीं जाता वो तो लाइक हाउ विल यू डेल विद दैट एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम कि मैं कुछ गलत तो नहीं कर रहा हूँ ये डाउट आया था
Yeah, man. A lot of times, right? Because both of us were very inexperienced. We had started up 2 times before. Both the
हाँ
times we did not really, कुछ ऐसे बड़ा नहीं हुआ था उसके साथ. So obviously we weren't really, like confident about ourselves. And even last year we applied for jobs and stuff because we knew okay, we just don't have experience to build a startup in the first place.
हम्म
And it was very hard for us to accept it because as it both of us were the startup guys of college, so how can you do a job when you're
हाँ
supposed to inspire others to start up? Like we were stuck in that dilemma. And then Igbar he called, and that time we weren't like that time we had raised money या फिर कुछ किया नहीं था वैसे. We were just running Bluelearn ऐसे ही on Discord. And then both of us called each other and we decided कि if we make more than 2 lakhs every month, we'll not sit for college placements and we'll just,
हम्म
um, like we'll just see where this goes. And fortunately, after some time, we were actually doing that. It was very hard, a lot of sweat, a
हम्म
lot of like late sleepless nights. Like I had zero social interactions. I did not speak to anyone. It was
हम्म
just working on this all day, all night, and just khana, even not even interacting with my parents. Like I was living with my parents, but at the same time not living with my parents. Like it was
right
just I was just so involved in what we were building, and both of us were just like ऐसे कुछ work timing करके था ही नहीं. Like we should just call up
हाँ
each other anytime. And I think those were very pivotal times. Just the sheer fact that we could build a business out of it was pretty satisfying. And uske baad, we sort of raised the first round, and those things happened. And that gave us far more validation ki कुछ तो सही कर रहा है, क्या सही कर रहे हैं मालूम नहीं, पर कुछ तो चल रहा है.
राइट, राइट. बट अभी अभी मुझे यही पूछना है कि देयर वाज अ लॉट ऑफ डिबेट अबाउट दिस हसल कल्चर वर्सेस बैलेंस, वर्क
Yeah,
लाइफ बैलेंस वाली लाइफ एंड ऑल दिस थिंग, स्पेशली आफ्टर द पेंडेमिक, क्योंकि वो मेंटल हेल्थ वाला सब कुछ वो एक पीक पे आ गया, आफ्टर सो मेनी
yeah.
इंसिडेंट्स दैट हैपेंड इन द पेंडेमिक, ड्यूरिंग द पेंडेमिक. तो तुम्हें
Mm-hmm.
क्या लगता है कि जब तुम एक स्टार्टअप बिल्ड कर रहे हो, देन इन इनिशियल ईयर्स
Yeah.
हसल कल्चर फॉलो करना पड़ेगा ना?
See, dude, honestly, like I don't care what others do. Like क्या करना है,
Hmm.
सबका personal ये है, right? Like right now I have a very way more balanced life than what I had a year back, for example,
Right,
right? Like
right.
तुम्हें जो काम कर, like whatever works for you, do it. If I want to work
हाँ.
18 hours a day, I'll work. Like तुम कौन हो? If I'm not saying, the problem starts when people start preaching it कि सबको करना चाहिए, सबको work
हाँ.
life balance चाहिए, सबको 18 hour ये चाहिए, right? Like when the founder on LinkedIn did that, just he didn't really mean it. 18 was just a metaphor
Yeah,
that he wanted to
yeah,
use
yeah,
for
yeah.
hard work. But I mean, India, yaar, like sub
हाँ.
out of context ले लेते हैं. But anyway, like it's just कि don't preach it कि सबको ऐसे ही करना चाहिए. Do whatever works for you, man. Like I know so many good founders who have a very good like personal family life, like, and maybe they just work for those 5 hours. But in 5 hours, they make such good decisions कि that could be life changing, right? Like you never know.
Hmm.
And then you'll have people who come for 5 hours and कुछ YouTube देख रहे हैं and then like just typing some unnecessary things that no one needs and
Hmm.
go off.
Hmm.
Like you'll have all kinds of people, right? So point being कि if you're really passionate about something, spend as much time as you need to get it done. Like if you want to
Right,
take it forward, like उसको 10 घंटे लगे 2 घंटे लगे, it doesn't matter. Do whatever works for you. So कोई rule नहीं है, right? If there was a rule, then everyone will do well.
right, right. True, true. और अभी ये कुणाल शाह ने ना एक बहुत अच्छी चीज बोली थी कि इट डजंट मैटर, it's not about number of years experience, it's all about number of experience in a year.
Yeah.
So like in last 1 year, what are some of those like big best experiences for you जिसने तुमको बहुत ज्यादा शेप किया?
Oh, lots of them, man.
Like
Um,
if you can share some of them.
yeah. So, last 1 year is when we understood how to build a product, right? इसके पहले I've never built an app before. I've never built uh, like a full-fledged web app or a mobile app before. So this, and I was really scared about this. Like when you
हाँ.
look at, say, a Paytm or a Discord app, you're scared. You're like, how will I build this? I think in the last 1 year we have cracked it. We have one of the best like app dev teams right now, and
Right.
like somehow it took us a long time, but even our investors were skeptical. They were like, Harish has never built anything with. He has never. This is his first job. He's leading a team of 30. Like, how are these guys going to do it, right? So
Hmm.
that's one thing that I'm really proud of. We understand product like anyone, any other startup out there. Like if I had to talk to an academy product manager or like a Snapchat product manager, I can right now because we use pretty much the same tech as any of the large guys out there, right?
Right.
So we're just like in office there are 16 people, but like we hire high performance, great people, and so that we can go against pretty much anyone and can build good quality products. So
Right.
that's one thing that we have learned. Obviously, long way to go. Like even today, I want so many things fixed on the app, but that's one thing we've learned how to use the product. Second thing is I've learned how to hire. I think great people can solve for so many problems, right?
Right.
We had the topper of BITS, right? Like
Oh.
the person who left JP Morgan to join us,
Wow.
like to reach, like to ask someone to leave a cushy JP Morgan job and join a startup in like 1,000 square feet office is hard.
Hmm.
So those things we hired a person from urban company, right? Like so those things were like तुम्हें बच्चा जैसे बोलना नहीं है कॉल पे,
हाँ.
like that's
हाँ.
something that I learned, right? So there were so many
हाँ.
things that you have to do as you mature as a founder. That's one thing. On a personal side, like I got into my first serious relationship last year. That taught me a lot of things.
Wow.
I did break up later, but I went through the entire cycle. That taught me a lot about people. It taught me a lot about empathy. It taught me a lot about how do you think independently. It taught me about things that I need to improve on, right? So that happened. Then I learned about like how do you sort of manage time in a way. Like अभी तो ऐसा है ही नहीं ना कि मुझे 9 to 5 काम करना है. I can just work
हाँ
whenever I want. And I think, as you said before, right, the quality of decision that you make matters way more than the hours that you spend. तो
हाँ
रोज you should ask yourself कि मैंने कितने life changing decisions लिए हैं आज versus saying
हाँ
कितने घंटे मैंने काम किया है. वो 12, 18, 2, 3 doesn't matter. Ask yourself how many decisions did you take which were life changing, right? Or which were really useful or impactful.
राइट
So that helped. Reading helped. Reading is something that I picked up.
राइट
Like I think right now I'm in a far more calm, on a peaceful state versus what I was a year back. Like a year back, if you just asked me to go on stage and talk, or if you just asked me to go to a unicorn founder and talk, I would shiver. Like I would be like, oh damn, I don't want to do that. I'm scared. Right now I'm like zero fucks. Like, okay, sure, hi, I'm Harish. Like, or just go on stage, or like just achieving that internal peace in a way. But still, मतलब हमेशा नहीं रहता है, वो
हाँ
ऊपर नीचे जाते रहता है. But like that's one thing that like बाहर की दुनिया बहुत change होती रहती है. But then you can't
हाँ
do anything about it. Just accept it the way it is. Those are few things that have worked. I started journaling. I tried therapy for the first time. Like I made more friends than I've made in my entire lifetime in the last 1 year. So yeah, I mean, these are few things. Last year was very exciting. I mean, everything is very exciting this year.
Right, right. These are so many experiences in a 1 year. You are like, तुमने ऐसे 4-5 साल के सारे experiences तुमने एक ही साल में ये सब कुछ experience कर लिया. This is amazing. This is wonderful, यार.
Yeah, I think I'll also tell you the reason, right? Because
हाँ,
until my 12th grade, I was a very studious person. तब मेरे
right.
experiences almost zero होते थे. Like if you had asked me this question in my 12th grade, I would have been like, पढ़ाई की थी. If you had asked like for 12 years straight, I would have just said I just studied, right? But I
हाँ,
think over time I realized कि life is far more exciting when you have a lot of other
right.
things.
No, I am noticing the change also because I was going through a whole lot of your videos, the other podcast that you were featured on a year ago. और उसमें से बहुत कुछ चेंज दिख रहा है. तुम काम बन गए हो, वो तो मैं तुम्हें लाइक आगे के 2-3 क्वेश्चन पहले ही बोलने वाला था कि यू आर वेरी काम राइट नाउ. तुम्हारा आंसर्स बहुत स्ट्रक्चर्ड है अभी. तुम जैसे सोच रहे हो उसके अंदर. सो लाइक इट है लाइक मैं बहुत चेंज देख रहा हूँ जो मैंने वीडियोस देखे और अभी तुम यहाँ पे हो उसमें. सो
Yeah.
kudos to you. लाइक यू नो ये और ज़्यादा आने ही वाला है तुम्हारी लाइफ के अंदर और ज़्यादा ग्रोथ आने वाला है 100%. बट द इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग कि तुम जो बोल रहे थे कि तुम शिवर करते या तो फिर 1 साल के अंदर 1 साल पहले अगर तुम किसी से मिलने जाते हैं ऐसा कुछ. बट डू यू थिंक इट इज़ ऑल्सो अकम्पनीड बाय सक्सेस कि सक्सेस मिली उसकी वजह से भी कॉन्फिडेंस बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गया कि नहीं आई कैन ऑल्सो डू दिस यार. ऐसा नहीं है.
Hmm.
उसने भी काफी ज्यादा हेल्प किया है.
Yeah. See, I think more than success, it's about knowing your self-worth, right?
राइट
Like for example, Chandan, a community manager, he's the most confident guy I've seen in my life. He's
राइट
just graduated from college. He's a year younger than me.
हाँ
And he'll go talk to anyone. He doesn't care because he knows he has that self-confidence and he knows his self-worth. कि
हाँ
अगर सामने वाले ने गाली भी दे दी तो आई एम कॉन्फिडेंट अबाउट माई सेल्फ. आई एम हु आई एम, राइट? I wouldn't
राइट
feel bad about myself because I'm confident about I've accepted the Chandan that I am. So
हाँ
when you've accepted that, no one can do anything to you. तो वो केस में you don't even think about success कि अभी मैं किसी से मिलने चाहता हूँ तो for example last weekend I went to Gurgaon and like there was this founders retreat. Half of them were billionaires. Like Vijay Shekhar Sharma from Paytm was there. Like so many of them were there, right? Like and all of them were just chilling and it's just कि you don't think कि अच्छा वो तो उसकी net worth $1 billion है मेरी net worth तो zero है. Like why should I go and talk to him? You don't think like that. You're like, hey, I'm a curious person. I want to chat with him.
राइट
I want to get to know him. And you just walk up and be like, hey, I'm Harish, I'm doing this because you're confident about yourself. I think more than bahar ka
हाँ
confidence, the first thing you need to do is be confident about yourself and accept
हम्म
yourself the way you are. When you like yourself, when you love yourself first, then no one can beat you. कोई कितना भी तुम्हें कुछ भी बोल दे, you would not hate yourself और बोले ऐसे बोलोगे नहीं कि मैंने ऐसा क्यों किया, मैंने वैसे क्यों किया, because you like yourself and you know who you are, right? So
Right.
I think that's the first step. And then it doesn't really matter what you do or how successful you are. You could be just uh, a graphic intern, or you could be a billion-dollar founder. If you're not confident or if you don't like yourself, like you'll always be nervous and you'll always shiver no matter how successful you are. But if you're like someone who knows your self-worth, then things are much better. You'll be far more confident.
Right, right. This is true. Mm, Like know yourself और acceptance बहुत जरूरी है. First of all कि acceptance अगर होगा, knowing yourself is also important thing, but acceptance होना भी बहुत जरूरी है. But I want to
Yeah.
ask you this कि कैसा लगता है when you are, as you said, in the founders retreat वाले में, like you are in a very such a young age right now. तो कैसा लगता है कि holy shit, I am with billionaires right now. ये वाली फीलिंग आई थी कभी भी कि
To
fuck
be
यार.
honest, नहीं आई थी. Because
राइट.
that's when you realize कि everyone's human, man. सबसे बात करो, सबके problems होते हैं. Like
हम्म.
everyone has their own set of big, small problems. Like everyone's laughing, everyone's having fun, everyone's like a college student. Like every adult has a kid in them, right? Like even if
हाँ.
it's a 60-year-old granddad, you'll find some kiddish behavior, right? Like he'll smile looking at flowers and be like,
राइट.
"Kya ye?" Right? Like, so I mean, I spoke to so many people there. I spoke to Gaurav. I spoke to like the Soul Store founder, Teachment founder. People have raised like more than 100 mil probably. And Urban Company founder Raghav Chandra, it's valued at what, $3 billion, and he's just there, bro, chill kar raha hai. He's just like having lunch, just having fun, roasting his own company, like just it's just nice, right? Like they don't
राइट.
take themselves too seriously. No
हाँ.
one has that cockiness की अच्छा मैं तो $3 billion का फाउंडर, $3 billion कंपनी का फाउंडर हूँ, मैं तो सबसे बड़ा हूँ. He's
हाँ.
chilling with like like whoever is approaching, he's just like having a chat as if they're a college friend, right?
राइट.
So I think that's a pretty good
हम्म.
way of looking at life. Don't take yourself with seriously, man. Like no one's Bhagwan. Like everyone's
हाँ.
a human. All of you commit mistakes. If you have a really big ego, then it's gonna be hard, right? Like
हम्म.
um, another thing. I mean, going back to that 1 year wala question,
हाँ.
self-awareness is something that I learned, right? Like understanding
राइट.
why you get angry, why you get
हाँ.
sad, why you get happy, what triggers it. And like just knowing yourself better. Like we spend so much time researching about other people, or like Elon Musk का story क्या था, ये क्या था, but then you spend so much little time understanding yourself. How was your childhood, right? Like did something happen in your childhood which made you change the perspective of the world, right? Like asking those questions is also kind of important because it helps you understand yourself better as a person.
राइट. दिस इज ट्रू. दिस इज ट्रू. क्लियरली दिख रहा है तुम थेरेपी जा रहे हो.
Maybe, yeah.
नहीं
I
नहीं,
mean,
मजाक में बोला.
yeah, I used to like that's one thing that I would really recommend. I
हाँ.
mean, like I didn't go for a lot of sessions. Like March, April, I went for like a couple of sessions, but I think that's one thing that I would really recommend, right? Because at that time there were so many things happening. कि college jaldi shuru ho gaya tha, and then things were not going well in the personal front, and there was just so much happening कि I couldn't control myself, and that's when you need outside help, and it's totally fine to take
हाँ.
outside help. Like
हाँ.
just like how you go to the gym and you need a trainer, it's fine if you need someone for your mental health. It's fine if like a lot of human problems are very like they've been studied for a long time. Feeling insecure or feeling underconfident or not feeling or like feeling anxious. These are all things that have been biologically studied for a long time.
राइट.
So it's fine if you go for therapy, right? Like it's ऐसे मुझे भी पहले लग रहा था कि अच्छा this is my first time going for therapy. How will people feel? What if someone sees me? No, it's fine. When I went there, I realized that all slots were booked out. Like bits में all slots were booked out. Like so many people were open about it कि मुझे एक हफ्ते बाद का slot मिला था because everything else was booked out. In even in Bangalore, like most therapy places are booked out because now people have become way more open towards it. And if
राइट.
you take a look at a lot of like founders as well, there's something called founders therapy because when you're leading a large team and when you're dealing with so many people, you're not leading an easy life. You're going to have a hard life. And for that,
Yeah.
you need thoda sa external help sometimes, and that really helps.
राइट ट्रू 100%. मुझे अभी ऑन अ लाइटर नोट क्या अच्छा लग रहा है, गोवा अच्छा था या बैंगलोर अच्छा लग रहा है?
अच्छा क्या लग रहा है? I think Bangalore is more of my vibe, bro. Like
लाइक
it matches my personality in a way.
हम्म
Goa also does. It's a very calm place. It's a nice place. But Goa is very lonely. Like मेरे सारे दोस्त यहाँ पे हैं. Like Bangalore is called BITS Pilani Alumni Campus. सारे यहीं पे आ जाते हैं, right? तो सड़क पे पत्थर फेंको, it'll land on a Bitsian. It'll just, yeah, everyone's just here. Like even after this, a couple of my friends are gonna come. Right now, I got a call from one of my friends. So
हाँ
it's like it's happening place. सब लोग यहाँ पे हैं. I don't know कितनी देर तक रहेगा, and I don't even want everyone to come here क्योंकि पहले से ही बहुत crowded जगह है.
हाँ
Like traffic में आधी जिंदगी चली जाती है. But I
हम्म
like Bangalore. I think after I make a couple of close friends or something, or if I become really comfortable with myself, or if I become really rich, I might want to move to Goa because it's better. Bangalore mein there's a lot of pollution वगैरह, so I'm pretty sure कि I'll die early if I stay here for too long. But let's see. I'd want to move to Goa. I also want to like, I mean, not now, but like in a couple of years, try another country also because I've never stayed for a long time in some other country. So would love to try that out as well.
राइट राइट एंड यू नो, तो मैं ये भी देख रहा तुम्हारे इंस्टाग्राम के थ्रू जा रहा था, तो मैंने ये भी देखा कि यू आर इनटू फिटनेस आल्सो, अच्छी तरीके से जिम
Hmm.
जिम जा रहे हो, अच्छी तरीके से जिम
अच्छी
कर रहे
तरीके
हो,
से तो नहीं जा रहा हूँ पर हाँ, I've
मतलब
joined the gym
रेगुलरली जा रहे हो
like 3 times a week.
3 times a week, बट
Yeah.
अच्छा है, ठीक है. लाइक योर मोटिवेशन इज नॉट कि नहीं सिक्स पैक एब्स और वो सब बना
Yeah,
दो,
yeah, yeah.
तुम्हारा नहीं है तो अच्छा है कि तुम
पूरे दिन
हेल्थ
का
पे फोकस.
फ्रस्ट्रेशन
हाँ
निकालना है ऑब्जेक्टिव.
हाँ. कैसे 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 हेल्थ वाली हैबिट कैसे हेल्प कर रही है तुम्हें? यू मेंशन इन योर
um
इंस्टाग्राम पोस्ट की काम बना दिया है तुम्हें, बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम
yeah,
दैट.
so I'll tell you, right, the reason I joined the gym was जब गोवा में था मैं, तो
हाँ
अपार्टमेंट में एक जिम होता था नीचे. इट वाज कॉल्ड नॉबर्ट्स, एंड आई ट्राइड इट इन दिसंबर. एक बार ट्रेडमिल ट्राई किया था, एंड देन आई वाज लाइक के क्या है ये, एंड जस्ट केम बैक. बट in March, right, I was going through a pretty bad phase. Like काम ठीक से हो रहा नहीं था. I was not feeling productive at all, right? I was going through a breakup. I was not in the best health state, as in like ठीक
हाँ
से खाना नहीं खा रहा था टाइम पे, नींद नहीं आ रही थी ठीक से, right? And like even in terms of friends and stuff, I used to feel very alone
हम्म
and lonely at that time,
हाँ
right? So it was just not a good time to for me. Like there were times when I was just crying in the night alone. So it was just bad. Like there was too much pressure, and wasn't wasn't like in the best state. So that's when I was like, let's give gym a shot, right? Like I don't want to be this person. I need to change, and let's start taking small steps. So one day I just woke up at 8 a.m. and I went downstairs and I started, just with chest press hota hai na, this thing.
हाँ
I started
हाँ
doing that. And that's when like a guy standing next to me, he came and he was like, do you need help? And I said, yeah. So he adjusted. बोला कि posture क्या है ये? क्या कर रहा है तू? And then and then he just adjusted everything and he was like, just start doing this. And I asked him who he is. He said he's a new manager and his
हाँ
name is Max. So throughout the day, he helped me in like a lot of workouts. Like he didn't expect anything out of it. He just genuinely helped me. And then I liked him so much that I asked him, bro, what can I do to make you train me? Right. And he was a trainer as well. So quickly signed up for a training. He did not charge very less, dude. Bangalore आने के बाद मालूम पड़ता है कि कितना less charge किया था. For
हाँ
like 2 months he trained me, and I think I paid him like 3 or 4 thousand or whatever.
ओ
But yeah, crazy guy. But he was very experienced. He was a musician. He played for Yash Raj Studios. He's trained like a lot of Bollywood people also, and he was a genuinely nice guy. And dude, like like a lot of this calmness and all I learned from him. Like he was
राइट
really calm in the way he took decisions. I never knew I learned so much from my gym trainer. Like honestly, more than anyone else, I learned a lot from him. And he was
राइट
very entrepreneurial. He
हाँ
started off as a trainer, and now he's like, almost starting his own gym ka training institute, and like he's very entrepreneurial. He's doing a lot of things. He recently got a new car also. Like I'm really happy for that man. Like I've learned so much from him. Like him buying a new car gives me more joy than, some random guy buying a Ferrari. Like it's fine.
Right. Right.
So he's like, and that's when he told me that when you're like physically fit, you don't, as you said, right, you don't need six packs. You don't need to like be huge. Koi Hulk nahi banna hai.
हाँ
Like
हाँ.
all you have to do is just, keep your body running and be a little pumped, and that really impacts your mental health, right? And
Hmm.
starting off my day with gym really helped because it seemed like an accomplishment कि आज मैंने ये किया है. And eventually
हाँ.
that positive reinforcement कि yes, I've like done something good at the beginning of the day, it just feels so good.
Hmm.
I mean, a lot of serotonin gets released once you gym, so which is a feel good hormone, right?
हाँ.
And eventually that sort of helped me improve my work habits. Start working harder, start getting over my like past really quickly, start making new friends. I was more confident in the way I was talking to people. And
Hmm.
that really helped me. Like those 3 months were very transformative, right? By the end of those 3 months, I was just like a different person altogether. And yeah, man, that's how that helped. उसके बाद बैंगलोर में तो एक महीना गया ही नहीं मैं क्योंकि बहुत ये हुआ. पर then now I got another trainer in Bangalore. Very
हाँ.
expensive. Like what I would have paid for like a year in Goa, he's charging me for a month, but whatever. It's fine. And then yeah, अभी इसके बाद चला जाऊंगा मैं, I think 6-7 बजे.
राइट. बट यू नो, ये बहुत अच्छा है कि तुमने इतने अच्छे तरीके से वो किया, बिकॉज आई ऑल्सो फील कि जब जब तुम एक फिटनेस अपने हैबिट बना देते हो ना, उससे
Hmm.
क्या होता है कि लाइफ में डिसिप्लिन आ जाती है धीरे से, क्योंकि एक टाइम फिक्स
Yeah.
है वहां पे तुम जाओगे. तो
Hmm.
फिटनेस में वो भी सिखाता है डिसिप्लिन है, और प्रोसेस प्रोसेस पे
Hmm.
यू नो अपना बिलीफ रखो, प्रोसेस अपना काम करेगा धीरे
Yep.
धीरे से.
Yep. Yep.
बहुत ज्यादा सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है. ट्रू. Now I want to ask you this कि you know, what are some of the things like insights that you gathered before starting Bluelearn, कि conviction कैसे है आइडिया में कि नहीं ये करना है, ये कुछ बड़ा
हाँ.
बन सकता है.
ब्रो, शुरुआत में तो बिल्कुल था ही नहीं. लाइक देयर
Right.
वाज नो इनसाइट एज सच. डिस्कॉर्ड सर्वर चल रहा था, बहुत सारे लोग थे, देयर वाज एक्टिविटी हैपनिंग. Like dude, honestly, I've like if you check my Discord ranking, I don't spend much time on Discord at all.
Right.
uh, it just happened. Like we were running the platform and people found value in the platform. Like even I was surprised, right? Like how can this Discord server blow up so much?
Mm-hmm.
And people are using it. They were organizing music concerts, different clubs, which is the core of what we do today. Start forming psychology, philosophy, book reading club, right? English speaking clubs. So many clubs were there on Discord, and it was just a very nice thing to observe. I just built the
हाँ.
I mean, मैंने खुद Discord पे effort भी नहीं डाला है. Like
हाँ.
I had some moderators, Abhijit and a bunch of these guys. They built the entire server, and I just looked at it. That's how it initially started, right? And there was a lot of activity. And then I realized कि उसमें क्या हो रहा था कि बहुत लोग start giving positive feedback कि dude, I come from like you know like a very remote place in Bihar, and now I get an opportunity to talk to a software engineer in Bangalore, and that's how I learned how to do Python. And I was like, damn, that's cool. Someone said ki, I've never ever I've tried Upwork, freelance, and a bunch of these platforms, and never ever got a freelance gig. Through Bluelearn, I got my first freelance gig, and I bought my first phone for my parents. And I was like, damn,
Hmm.
all right. Someone said I found my girlfriend on Bluelearn. I was like, oh, okay, cool. ठीक है. So a lot of these stories start coming out, and that's when I was like, there's something interesting here, right? Like
हाँ.
when you bring so many smart, talented youngsters on one platform, very interesting things happen. And a lot of
Hmm.
people on Bluelearn today are like aspirational and educated. Like
Right.
मेरा target audience like नीचे वाला security guard नहीं है, right? At least for
हाँ.
now. Maybe I mean, I would love to do something for them, but like that's not my target audience. These are all
Right.
very aspirational people like you, people like me, right? And I think that's gonna these are the ones who are gonna drive India 2.0, right?
Yeah.
And the people who in the next 20 years are gonna change the face of India were on Bluelearn now.
हाँ.
And that's when I was like, oh fuck, this is incredible, right? Like
हाँ.
this is the future of India. Like I literally like these 100,000 members over here are going to change the economy of India, and they're literally here. So
Yeah.
that's when it started looking great. And that's when we realized ki, there's something huge. Like there are so many opportunities for us. Like we can,
हाँ.
maybe start a talent marketplace where we connect these talented people with Indian and global companies, right? Like, for example, Sweden में only 6% of tech jobs get filled up,
ओह.
right? While in India, एक जॉब डालो LinkedIn पे 1,000 लोग अप्लाई करते हैं. Like
हाँ.
the world is so skewed, right? And Sweden में people are paid 20 times more than what an Indian is paid. Like
हम्म.
the world is very skewed in that way. Talent is like there, but opportunity is very different. A US engineer earns more than combined salary of 10 Indian engineers. Like
हम्म.
it's a very weird thing, right? And I feel कि a lot of this could be equalized through the internet, because internet में everyone's equal, doesn't matter
Right.
where you're from, right? So that's something interesting that we saw. We also saw the power of bringing great people together. You can learn so much from people by just talking to them, right? Like so many
हाँ.
people learned more from just talking to a product manager than taking a course on Udemy, right?
हम्म.
So that power of community and the power of bringing opportunities to people is what sort of drives us.
Right. This is true. The
And I think more
especially.
than money or anything else, you should have a reason to wake up. This is Subeh, when you wake
हाँ.
up, there should be a purpose, right? If my purpose is to make $1 million a year, probably next year we might hit, like, if once we start monetizing. Uske baad, there'll be no reason for me to wake up. Like
हम्म.
I'll just not feel the purpose, right? But when your purpose is actually to like bring great opportunities to everyone and at the same time build one of the best and smartest communities out there, that's when you keep waking up, because that's a long term goal. It's going to take time.
हम्म.
ऐसे नहीं कि एक साल में हो जाएगा. It's going to take
हम्म.
probably my lifetime, right? So that's what sort of drives me and the entire team.
Right. और this is very true कि एक ग्रेटर गोल होना चाहिए, बिकॉज अगर मनी वाला होगा या तो फिर कोई भी नंबर वाला गोल होगा, एट द एंड वो गोल पोस्ट जैसा है कि तुम वो दूर लेके ही जाओगे. अगर 1,000 हो गया, चलो ठीक है, अभी 10,000 कर दो उसको, फिर 1 लाख कर दो, ऐसा वाला. बट एक ग्रेटर विजन तुम्हारा होना ही चाहिए. एंड कुकू एफएम के फाउंडर के साथ जब मैंने बात की थी, लाइक वी डिड अ पॉडकास्ट विद देम, सो ही टोल्ड मी दिस थिंग कि एक ना लूजली डिफाइंड विजन होना चाहिए तुम्हारी कंपनी
Hmm.
का. तो
Hmm.
उससे क्या है कि कल्चर बिल्ड करने में भी तुम्हें बहुत हेल्प होती है. अगर एक लूजली डिफाइंड विजन है तुम्हारे पास, तो क्या है कि उस विजन के बाजू में से कोई देखेगा नहीं. लाइक उनका है कि मेक लाइफ बेटर ऑफ स्क्रीन. तो अभी ऑफ स्क्रीन हो गया तो तुम्हें वीडियो का सोचना ही नहीं है, तुम ऑडियो के बारे में ही सोचो. तो वीडियो वाली बात चीजें अगर तुम्हारे दिमाग में चल रही है, तो वो तो आउट ऑफ द विंडो तुरंत ही होगी.
Very
तो उससे
interesting.
तो क्या है कि तुम्हारा कल्चर बहुत ही अच्छा हो जाएगा उससे. और तुम वो पेनिट्रेट कर पाओगे टू द
Yeah.
बॉटम लेवल तक वो चीज
Yeah.
को.
Yeah.
तो एक लूजली डिफाइंड विजन बहुत एक हेल्प करता है.
Very
दिस इज
cool.
दिस इज ट्रू. नाउ आई वांट टू आस्क यू दिस, लाइक इफ यू हैव ओनली 1 year टू लिव, यू नो नहीं हो, दिस इज हाइपोथेटिकल क्वेश्चन,
Yeah.
बट वन
Yeah.
ईयर है कि तो तुम बिगेस्ट लीप ऑफ फेथ एंड what is like one wildest dream you want to achieve with Bluelearn?
Very cool. I think this is a question that investors ask us to think about every day, because only then you'll make good decisions, right?
Yeah.
Like जो तुम्हें बाद में करने का सोच रहे थे, but it's important, you'll do it today,
हाँ.
because you're time constrained on time. But yeah, dude, I think we are already doing that. The biggest leap of faith is to see if India needs another talent marketplace, and if we can actually, connect some of the smartest people here with a lot of Indian and global companies. And at the same time, how do you do this while having a very thriving community, right? How do
Right.
you make sure that when there are so many social apps out there, and that too with, people dancing on reels, how do you compete with that and make sure that you're having something more productive? um
Yeah.
so yeah, dude, I think we're already on that leap of faith, and that's
Right.
what we are up to.
Right. I want to come back to that, but
Ah,
ये भी एक बात है कि मुझे जो जो तुमने बोला वो बहुत सही है कि इंटरनेट को प्रोडक्टिव वे में ना अभी भी इंडियंस बहुत ज्यादा यूज नहीं कर रहे. राइट. तो वो धीरे से वो शायद से मुझे वो चेंज कहीं ना कहीं पे दिख रहा है कि जैसे जैसे वो इंटरनेट मैच्योर होंगे ना, कि पहले 2-3 साल तो वो लोग
yeah,
एंटेरटेनमेंट ही देखने वाले हैं
yeah,
फुल ऑन,
yeah.
क्योंकि वो एक्सपोजर था ही नहीं उनके पास तो उसके लिए. तो उसके बाद ही वो चेंज आएगा मैच्योरिटी वाला ना टू आस्क यू दिस कि वो इन्फ्लेक्शन पॉइंट कब आया लाइक 1 लाख वाले जो अभी जो स्टूडेंट्स है अभी कम्युनिटी बन गई है तो सबसे बड़ा वाला इन्फ्लेक्शन पॉइंट कब आया था और लाइक व्हाट आर सम ऑफ द चेंजेस और व्हाट आर सम ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट यू डिड उसकी वजह से वो इन्फ्लेक्शन पॉइंट वाला आया
Inflection point towards 1 lakh.
हाँ 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 कि सडनली
Got
लाइक
it.
10,000
Hmm.
होंगे तो
Hmm.
सडनली अचानक से लाइक 50,000 हो गया एक
Hmm.
एक अपवर्ड कर्व तो आया ही होगा अभी तो वो कैसा आया था
To be very honest, ऐसा बहुत rarely हुआ है. I think
ओके
a lot of this growth has been slow and steady,
राइट
consistent growth over like an uptick. But one uptick that I can talk about was कि 2021 में जब वो COVID का time आया था,
हाँ
second wave, I think मई का time था, May 2021.
हाँ हाँ मई 2021
वो time पे there was a huge uptick in the usage because obviously everyone was at home, and that's when we saw a lot of exciting things. That's when Web3 was also trending. So we had this Web3 like एक पूरा week was dedicated towards Web3, and a lot of like some of the best Web3 developers joined our platform at that time. So yeah, that was the only uptick. उसके बिना it's always been very slow and steady, man.
राइट राइट और एवरेज लाइक यूजेस टाइम कितना है यूजर का ऐप का
Right now it's around 5 minutes per
right
day.
now it's around 5 minutes per day
Yeah.
and like what's the target by the end of this year
I don't know, man. I think probably 20 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes would be a good target. It's very, every second counts because
hmm.
there are so many apps on your phone and you need to like choose one of them. So every second would count there. But like,
Hmm.
yeah, 10 minutes would be great. I think Twitter ka is 10 minutes. So if we can like reach that level, it will be a huge thing for us.
राइट एंड तुमसे मुझे ये पूछना है कि लाइक मोनेटाइजेशन कैसे हो रहा है लाइक इन व्हाट
Yeah.
वेज हो रहा है बिकॉज आई हर्ड अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग लाइन फ्रॉम यू कि मुझे कम्युनिटी पहले से ही पेड नहीं कर देनी है क्योंकि अगर वो होगा तो 10,000 में से लोग इतने लोग पे करेंगे तो वो लाइक बहुत कम
Yeah.
अमाउंट ऑफ मनी आएगा बट
Yeah.
इफ 1 मिलियन पीपल कम टू आवर कम्युनिटी उसके बाद मैं पेड करूंगा तो आउटकम विल बी फार बिगर देन दैट सो
Yeah.
लाइक
Yeah.
लाइक तो मोनेटाइजेशन वाले में किस तरीके से चेंज आया है या क्या सोच रहे हो मोनेटाइजेशन के बारे में अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस मार्केट प्लेस
Majority of our revenue, I expect personally to come from the marketplace itself
राइट
because, like, I honestly feel ki we have some of the most talented people, and for companies to get access, they would be sort of willing to pay a premium. Uh, Apart from that, on the community side, मैंने ज़्यादा कुछ सोचा नहीं है, to be
हाँ
honest. Like, उस पे monetization plans are still not very clear. Like, we're still asking the question, should we even charge? Right? Like,
हाँ
that's where even we are stuck. Like, uh, we do want to form a great community, but then the
हाँ
problem with that is कि high intent or low intent users, right? Like, अभी problem ये हो रहा है कि अगर मैंने एक finance club खोला तो
हाँ
उसमें super interested, high, like people who trade every day also come, and people who also ask what is stocks also come.
हाँ
So, and people who are just there to spam also come. तो
हम्म
उसका मैं अभी भी सोच रहा हूँ कि how do we tackle that problem, right? Where you have all kinds of users coming because it's an open platform, right?
हाँ
Unlike say a GrowthX or a like a वो क्या है Growth School or a Leap Club, which are all paid communities. Ours is completely free and it's open for everyone. That's one
हाँ
challenge that we're facing. कि quality of those conversations sometimes drops because all kinds of people are coming in.
हम्म
So how do we filter the good people out? That's one thing that we're still figuring out. But Indian consumer market, if you're asking me, like, can I just start a subscription tomorrow and become like $100 million company? I'm not very optimistic about that because Indian consumer market has not matured enough yet, right? So
हाँ
if I was doing the same thing in the US, maybe I would have charged consumers in a way and said something. But abhi ke liye, I'm not very sure कि कितना बड़ा market है. And say, but B2B में I do see some potential there.
okay so like you guys might do something in B2B also कि उनके लिए कुछ सर्विस प्रोवाइड करके
Service nates, it's a very simple Upwork kind of
हाँ
model, right? Think कि
हाँ
Upwork has a much bigger talent pool in terms of the community. Like you just sort of become like the platform through which the transaction happens. but that also has its own set of challenges. So it's something that we're honestly, figuring out. That's one part where we're still cracking our heads. But in terms of like PMF, our first step is to even see if this works, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
why our main focus is on building. But second part is key, what's the correct monetization way for this? Because there are many, and we need to choose one. So that's these are like few things that we're currently working on for sure.
Right. And how often do you interact with your users, the app users?
Um, so I interact with them on a like pretty much यहाँ से तो almost every other day हो जाता है.
हाँ.
But in terms of user calls, I set like last week was completely just talking to them.
Right.
ये week उतना कुछ नहीं किया है पर it's usually कि
हाँ.
एक ऐसे 3-4 दिनों में I just schedule a lot of calls and talk to them.
हाँ.
But yeah, अभी recently मतलब ये हफ्ता तो नहीं किया मैंने. बट
राइट.
वो
तो
टेक्स्ट में वगैरह होते रहता है. कॉल्स आर लाइक जस्ट स्केड्यूल देम ओवर अ
सो
वीक.
एक आध वीक रखते हो वहां पे, मेजोरिटी ऑफ द
या
कॉल्स हो जाते हैं तो फटाफट फीडबैक आ गया एंड देन.
या
राइट. राइट. एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस शॉर्ट फीडबैक लूप रखने के लिए क्या है, क्या करते हो?
text messages, right? So I mean, like I just give my WhatsApp number to everyone,
राइट.
right? Like let them text, then let me know. That's the shortest feedback loop I can have.
एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम द दैट वन कि ओपन प्लेटफॉर्म है तो कोई भी आ सकता है ये वाले, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट व्हाट आर सम ऑफ द अदर चैलेंजेस दैट यू आर सीइंग कि
Yeah.
ये है?
So in terms of when I was talking to you about talent is everywhere and opportunity isn't, the problem with creating a marketplace is that we need to niche down कि कौन सी
हाँ.
type का talent है. Is it tech, marketing, design? Are we going to get into ops, right? Like there are so many things to figure out there. Then there's another challenge where you need to figure out कि ये uh, like how do you make the transaction happen, right? Like should they go through you? Like why should they go through you and stuff like that. So those are like few things which definitely are very large scale problems which need to be thought through very deeply before we move in. But second, as I said, right, this is something we're looking for next year, monetization. So right now the focus is कि जो भी companies है, it's all free for them. How do you make sure that the right talent gets match made? So the primary problem would be to identify कि कौन से niches को target करना चाहिए. Where is the demand for most of these niches? Because we are not a vertical platform, right? We don't say कि it's a community of developers or it's a community of designers. We don't say that. We say it's a community of India's most talented people, right? तो वो broad है. तो उसमें से कौन सी चीजों को we should first tackle? Because if you always stay broad, then it'll the goal is to provide everything for sure. Long term goal is to provide everything, but you need to start off with something. So that's what we are
हाँ.
figuring out.
राइट. और ये आई थिंक पीटर थील ने बोला था, कुछ भी था कि स्टार्ट विद अ स्मॉल मार्केट, जैसे
Yeah.
कि फेसबुक भी पहले हार्वर्ड के लिए, लाइक आईवी लीग उनके लिए ही था, उसके बाद दे
Yeah.
एक्सपांडेड टू अदर थिंग. या प्रीटी कूल. नाइस. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट अनदर क्वेश्चन कि अगर तुमको सिर्फ दो ही चीजें हैंडल करनी पड़े फॉर रेस्ट ऑफ योर लाइफ इन ब्लू लर्न, तो कौन सी चीजें वो तुम
Product
एज अ
and
जॉब?
marketing.
प्रोडक्ट एंड मार्केटिंग.
Yeah. Big product
राइट.
because like product is exciting. It's something like people, as I said, right? I love looking at people use what I've built. As simple as that. And marketing because I like building cool brands. And
हाँ.
I think it's in that DNA. When I look at, say, an Adidas or a Nike or an Apple, like I get inspired. And like hopefully one day I should be able to reach that stage where we're able to set a really good brand perspective.
राइट. एंड लाइक अगर एक एक लेसन तुम्हें तुम्हें सीखना हो एप्पल, नाइकी, एडिडास से, तो क्या होगा वो फ्रॉम एप्पल?
It's about don't sell your product. It's as simple as that, right? Sell what you believe in as a company. Like Nike doesn't sell shoes, it sells sportsmanship. Apple does not sell laptops, it sells productivity, right? So sell what you believe in as a company, right? So Bluelearn is not selling like it's a community. It's selling the fact that great things happen when great people come together. Like that's what we're selling. We're not selling Discord or we're not selling an app.
ट्रू. ट्रू. एंड हरीश, व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड दिस पॉडकास्ट तो बहुत सारी ऐसी
Yeah.
चीजें थी जो मुझे पता ही नहीं थी, कि
Hmm.
मुझे था कि ऐसा बात कर लेंगे, एडिट हो जाएगा, पर नहीं. व्हेन आई डिड देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स कि आई डिडंट इवन एक्सपेक्टेड. So what were some of those things for you after deep diving into entrepreneurship? What were some of those things for you you didn't expect it कि oh holy shit ये भी करना पड़ेगा?
हम्म अरे बहुत सारे साइन करने पड़ते हैं रोज unnecessary things, and then you have to like deal with a lot of people issues, like
Hmm.
you essentially so like if you look at large CEOs, right, of people who lead 1,000 member teams, उनका नौकरी बस वही है यार, financials देखो और manage people and
Hmm.
conflicts and teams and stuff, which is not something I might want to do. I'm a builder, right? So
हाँ.
if at all, I mean, we only reaches a stage where we're like 5,000 members, we are IPO'd, and like, so I might not really want to be the CEO. I don't want to manage people. I want to just like,
हाँ.
uh, build stuff.
तो 0 to 1 वाले में मजा आता है
Yeah,
तुमको?
0 to 1 is
वन
exciting.
वन वन इज वेरी एक्साइटिंग, राइट? एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट मुझे ना लाइक ये चीज तुमने जो पहले एक क्वेश्चन वाले में बोली थी कि तुम कितने आवर्स पुट इन कर रहे हो बट उससे कुछ
Hmm.
कुछ हो रहा है नहीं, तुम्हें वो देखना पड़ेगा, क्वालिटी देखनी पड़ेगी. वन वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, लाइक द फाउंडर ऑफ सिक्टपल, ही इज आल्सो फ्रॉम बैंगलोर ओनली. सो ही इज इनटू डीप टेक ऑफ मेडिकल इंडस्ट्री. सो ही टोल्ड
Hmm.
मी दैट उनमें सच Benny Bansal is the investor in them. So he told him, Benny Bansal told him this thing कि एक्टिविटी और प्रोग्रेस वो सीखना चाहिए तुम्हें, कि तुम एक्टिविटी तो कर रहे हो बट उससे कुछ प्रोग्रेस हुआ कि नहीं हुआ. तो
Hmm.
वो क्वेश्चन आफ्टर एवरी टास्क आस्क योरसेल्फ कि अगर वो हो रहा है देन यू आर इन द राइट डायरेक्शन, बट तुम एक्टिविटी करते गए बट फिर कुछ
Hmm.
प्रोग्रेस नहीं हुआ, तुम्हें तो लगा कि तुम प्रोडक्टिव हो गए यार, वाह
Yeah. Yeah.
बहुत प्रोडक्टिव फील हो रहा है, बट वो फिर वो एक्टिविटी प्रोग्रेस में टर्न नहीं हो रहा है, देन इट्स अ
Hmm.
प्रॉब्लम. तो एक्टिविटी वर्सेस प्रोग्रेस वो काफी डायलेमा
Hmm.
हम लोग डेफिनेटली फील करते हैं
Yeah.
कि लोग
Interesting.
प्रोडक्टिविटी चूज करने लगता है कि हाँ टिक ऑफ कर दिया, टास्क टास्क कर दिया, पर टास्क वो प्रोग्रेस किया कि नहीं किया.
Hmm.
सो आई ऑल्सो डिप्लॉय दिस इन माई कंटेंट क्रिएशन प्रोसेस, और वो सब की प्रोग्रेस हो रहा है इससे तो ही करो, बाकी ओके नहीं करना है ये चीज, ये आउट ऑफ द
Hmm.
वे है, राइट? इवोल्यूशन नीड्स एलिमिनेटिंग. सो लर्निंग तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, लर्निंग करनी
Hmm.
चाहिए, कंपाउंड होनी चाहिए, बट व्हाट वर सम ऑफ दोस थिंग्स दैट यू अनलर्न इन लास्ट
Hmm.
1 year?
Yeah. I think being less chindi, right? Like,
हाँ.
I think as students, you tend to get into that mentality, but then, like here, when you're building, speed matters. So if spending a
हाँ.
little extra is helping you save time, just go ahead and do it, because it's always key you're running out of time,
हाँ.
and like one day you'll eventually run out of money also. So until that happens, just get it done. And second one is कि जो भी experiment तुम try कर रहे हो, just do it as soon as possible and then just
हम्म.
fail fast,
हम्म.
because like this is something that one of our investors was saying. For example, if every month we spend 30 lakhs, if that's a burn,
हम्म.
then like it's better to spend another 20 lakhs abhi and get the
हम्म.
result this month itself and know if it's working or not, then wait. Because the more you wait, the more you're spending anyway, right? Because every month you have to pay salaries. वगैरह. So if you're spending 30 lakhs
हाँ.
this month, if you wait for 2 months to run some experiment, you've spent 60 lakhs. But if you've just done it quickly by spending extra 20 lakhs this month itself and got a result कि चलता है कि नहीं चलता है, so you spent 20 plus 30, 50 lakhs. You've saved money in a way, right? So
हम्म.
just do things as soon as possible and know what's working, what's not, and then उसके बाद आगे देखो. So yeah,
राइट.
which
राइट.
is very different from what how I used to think before, because before it
हाँ.
was कि अच्छा like take those important decisions by taking your own sweet time,
हम्म.
but अभी वो थोड़ा बदल रहा है.
राइट. एंड आर यू गुड विद पीपल इश्यूज? डू यू डील विद देम
हाँ,
अच्छे
I
से?
wouldn't say good. I'll be like I'm still like 6 on 10.
राइट, बट
Still a
दैट
long way
दैट
to learn.
हाँ, बट दैट्स गुड ना यार.
Better than before.
हाँ. हाँ. 6 on 10 इज गुड, लाइक मतलब वो
हाँ.
तो फिर होता ही रहेगा वो आगे जाके, राइट? व्हाट लाइक फॉर द पीपल साइड, व्हाट यू लर्न जब भी तुम टीममेट या उनके अंदर हो,
Hmm.
तो उससे क्या तुमने सीखा है?
I think one of the things is कि listen, like even if you're not an intro, even if you're not an extrovert वगैरह, just listening helps you connect with people, right?
या.
So listen to every part of other stories. It's something that even I'm learning. I interrupt people a lot, but I think listening helps, understanding where someone's coming from, understanding the context. Building context is another thing, right? Where you don't suddenly assume and make conclusions कि ऐसे ही हो रहा है. Listen to
हाँ.
the other person, get some context, see where they're coming from, like put yourself into their shoes, and then take a call. I think that's the most important people lesson I've learned.
Right, right. Hiring is the toughest job.
Hmm.
Like a lot of founders will say to you कि hiring बहुत hard होता है.
Hmm.
Finding right people, right
Hmm.
match.
Hmm. Hmm.
Great talent होगा but right match नहीं होगा तुम्हारे company culture के लिए. तो
Hmm.
ये भी एक चीज है. So
Yeah.
like hiring में क्या सीखा है? क्या किस तरीके का अभी hiring process change हुआ है? Because you're one of the podcast last last साल के जो 2-3 podcast सुने मैंने उसमें से वही था कि कम्युनिटी से तुम लोग बहुत हायर करते थे लोगों को. So like
Yeah.
अभी क्या प्रोसेस में चेंज आया आफ्टर 1 year?
Very good. So initially we used to hire from the community. So only people who have like heard about Bluelearn or who have been part of the community used to hire people like them. And that's great, right? Because now you have someone who has already used the product and who's
हाँ.
already knows what you do. You don't have to like explain. And these are the kind of people who will do well also आगे जाके. क्योंकि even if whatever role they are doing, they know why they are performing that particular role और उसका impact क्या होने वाला है. हर एक लाइन ऑफ कोड का मीनिंग होता है, हर एक लाइन ऑफ डिजाइन का एक पर्पस होगा, बिकॉज दे नो
हाँ.
कि कंपनी कहाँ जाने वाली है. While now the thing is कि अभी तो we're scaling, right? So it's hard to find everyone from the community, and
हाँ.
sometimes you need to hire people a little senior also. So we have fired people, in fact, who did not match our culture, right? Like even though they're great people, we had to let go of them because we are like a very small team, and if one person's hampering the culture, so we're not setting a good example for the next 100 people who are joining us, right? So yesterday we hired a person, right, who
Right.
completely matched our culture. And even though like that person might not be like the best out there, just because they match the culture, one of the culture values is to be a fast learner. It helps, right? So I'm confident in the next couple of months they'll be one of the best in their professions. Like even in the interview calls, we believe in hiring young, talented people who can just pick things up on the way. That's one thing, right? Like it's a little counterintuitive क्योंकि बहुत लोग बोलेंगे कि hire the most experienced person and expect them to sort of lead the team, which is something we might do series A, series B में. But अभी के लिए I believe in hiring like really good young people who are extremely talented and one of the best out there, who have the grit. अगर कोई पहले इंटरव्यू कॉल में पूछ रहा है कि टाइमिंग्स क्या है और सैटरडे ऑफ है क्या, I know that this is not the right fit for me, right? So we need people who genuinely love what they're doing. Like today we interviewed a coder who was not a coder, he was a problem solver, right? So those are the kind of people we're looking for,
Right.
and yeah, giving them a chance is worth it.
उसके ऊपर से ही मुझे मुझे ये पूछना है व्हाट वर सम अदर थिंग्स दैट यू आइडेंटिफाइड कि एक मीडियोकर टैलेंट और एक ग्रेट टैलेंट में तुमने आइडेंटिफाई किया है?
अगर कोई पहले कॉल में पूछ रहा है कि कॉम्पेंसेशन क्या है, you know that they're only here for
मनी पार्ट ऑफ
money, right? That's a red flag for me. Like if someone's पहले call में, if someone's asking कि timings क्या है, work life balance क्या है, office कब आना है, office कब जाना है, I know कि it's not a good fit. ये सब पहले कॉल में पूछा तो you know, right, what their priorities are. It's fine. I respect that. If someone wants work life balance and if they want to, like just come to office 3 days a week, whatever, that's fine. It's their thing. But like I prefer people who ask. I'm talking about the first call. Okay? These are important things. Even I would ask if I'm applying for the job. But I'm talking about the first call where you have to prioritize things. I would prefer people who are like, how will you monetize next year? Or I want people who are asking me questions like, how much of our runway do you have left? Or where do you see Bluelearn grow into in the next 5 years? What's the biggest challenge you're facing right now? Or things like, how fun is it to work at your tech team? How will my learning journey be better? Those are good questions. And I respect those people far more than people who ask ki, like compensation kitna hai on the very first call.
Right. True. And do you think your company is growing faster than the people right now? कि नहीं ऐसा नहीं होता
No.
growth
I think
growth
I
अभी
think people define the growth of the company, right? So they're always interlinked.
Right. True. And लाइक तुम लाइक अपने टीम मेंबर्स के साथ कितना टाइम स्पेंड करते हो? डू यू इंश्योर कि दे आर आल्सो कंपाउंडिंग विद द कंपनीज ग्रोथ? बिकॉज कुणाल शाह ये बहुत बोलते हैं कि एज अ फाउंडर वन ऑफ माय टू मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट जॉब इज हायरिंग ग्रेट पीपल,
Yeah,
setting the right culture in the team, and third thing is मेरे जो टीम में लोग हैं वो लोग कंपाउंड होने चाहिए फास्ट वे
yeah,
में भी,
yeah,
तो
yeah.
कंपनी भी उतनी लाइक इफ दे आर ग्रोइंग एट अ 5x स्पीड, देन कंपनी भी इंटरलिंक, तुमने बोला है कि कंपनी भी 5x से होगी, तो हाउ
Hmm.
डू यू एंश्योर कि पीपल आर आल्सो कंपाउंडिंग एट अ गुड रेट?
Very good question, right? I think that's if it's a young team, then as I said, you have to be a fast learner, so you have to also compound at the same time.
या
And at least for us, like I mean, the way we do it is we believe in community learning. Like people learn from
हाँ
other people, so we try our best to connect teammates with the most relevant people out there. So if it's a marketing
हाँ
person, connecting them with a great marketing person. If it's a community manager, maybe taking them to a couple of meetups, connecting them with people over there, that really helps.
हाँ
So just making them connect with people who are like 3, 4 steps above them, I think that has been helping us until now.
राइट राइट, और कोई ऐसी एक्टिविटीज करते हो कि जहाँ पे उनका इंटेलेक्ट बढ़ता है, ऐसा कुछ कंपनी में ऐसी कोई एक्टिविटीज हो रही है?
हाँ, तो I think one good part is a lot of people in our team are contrarians, right? Like people who just question a lot of things
या
from the ground up, right? So just because something happened in the past, they don't assume कि future में भी ऐसे ही होगा. They'll question it,
हाँ हाँ
and that's a good thing because now सारे ideas ऐसे ही, just because there's something don't get accepted, everything you have to like, you're accountable and you have to answer a lot of hard questions.
राइट
And those are the ones where you actually learn, because if you're not challenged, if no one's challenged, then obviously like uh, there'll be nothing new, right? But when
हाँ
you challenge a lot of these uh, sort of ideas, that's when something refined comes out of it, और वो सारे edge cases को cover कर लेता है.
राइट राइट, एंड कंपनी कल्चर में लाइक व्हाट आर सम ऑफ द मेन थिंग्स कि ये होना ही
Be
चाहिए
a
कंपनी
contrarian
कल्चर?
is one. ठीक है,
राइट
like think from ground up. हर एक
हाँ
प्रॉब्लम को तुम स्क्रैच से सोचो कि
स्क्रैच
कैसे होना चाहिए ये, right? And another thing that we have recently done is like praise, specifically criticize generally. What that means is कि praise people in public and praise saying कि Utsav did a good job at shipping the feature this week. That's great because now Utsav will feel great. But don't say that Utsav messed up by using the wrong package or something like that. क्योंकि उससे क्या होगा कि तेरा ईगो हर्ट हो जाएगा and then you'll start feeling bad about yourself.
हाँ
Instead say कि using the wrong package is not a good practice. Let's use something else. तो
हाँ
जो प्रॉब्लम है उसके बारे में बात करो. उत्सव,
हाँ
like everyone should be encouraged to do mistakes. If अगर मैंने ऐसे बोल दिया कि तूने ऐसे किया तो you'll be scared, right? The next time you'll be
हाँ
afraid to make mistakes.
हाँ
And that's the worst thing which could happen to your startups, when everyone's afraid to make mistakes, because
राइट
then nothing new will come out. You'll just keep
हाँ
following the old practices. Uh,
हाँ
but when I generally say कि ये है problem, using the
हाँ
wrong package is a bad practice, तो मैं तेरे को criticize नहीं कर रहा हूँ. I'm saying कि this concept is not good. So that
राइट
way your ego is not getting hurt, you're not feeling bad, and we're also able to address the problem well, right? And
राइट
which brings me to the third value, which is like, do mistakes, it's fine, but do it quickly. जल्दी कर लो.
राइट राइट, और हायरिंग में ये भी एक था, दिस इज द लास्ट क्वेश्चन एंड
Yeah,
आफ्टर
yeah,
दैट
yeah.
आई विल आस्क यू। हायरिंग में ये भी एक क्वेश्चन था कि डू यू आर यू हायरिंग जनरलिस्ट, और जनरलिस्ट और स्पेशलिस्ट कितने हैं? क्योंकि जब कंपनी नहीं होती है तो पीपल प्रेफर कि जनरलिस्ट कर दे, बिकॉज तुम्हें
Hmm.
फाउंडर्स को बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं मालूम होता है कि कंपनी कहाँ पे जाएगी, दो तीन पिवट आते हैं कंपनी के अंदर, तो कहाँ पे
Hmm.
चेंज होएगी, तो जनरलिस्ट होंगे तो काम आएंगे कि आज कोडिंग कर रहा हूँ कोई बात नहीं, चलो फाइनेंस संभालना है वो भी कर दूंगा।
Hmm. This is a good one because
हाँ
we have specialists who are also generalists in a way. Like
राइट
उनका काम है, मतलब
हाँ
if it's a, like for example, one of our React native devs, right, Darshil, his main job is to develop the app and build React native
हाँ
apps. But he also comes to brainstorming sessions. He also gives us feedback. He also asks me business questions. So it's दोनों साइड का है. But you need to have one core role for which you're accountable. But at the same time, ऐसा नहीं है कि you're limited to that. You also have other talents. So use that.
Right, right. Now, quickly, 3 books, 3 podcasts, 3 productivity or helpful tools for entrepreneurs.
Oh, damn. Okay. Almanac of Naval Ravikant, Psychology of Money, and then Hard Things About Hard Things. That will be books. Podcasts में Indian Silicon Valley, I think McKinsey का एक podcast है, और एक देसी VC करके एक podcast है,
Right.
और एक 100x VC करके एक podcast है. Those are good. और कौन सा था? Productivity tools.
3 productivity tools or helpful tools for
Notion, Slack, Notes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which is your favorite tool? Which is your favorite app?
Notebook and pen.
Notebook and pen. No, you
Yeah.
do notebook and pen.
Yeah, man, that's the
ये
best.
हाँ, that's the best. मुझे भी वही पसंद है. क्योंकि मुझे लगता है रिटेंशन रेट भी माइंड में ज्यादा उससे होता है, क्योंकि मैं लिख रहा हूँ अपने पेन से ऊपर.
वही जल्दी भी
हाँ.
लिखने आता है ना.
हाँ. Right. And last question, one advice for entrepreneurs, जो भी तुम्हें देनी हो, and one advice they should definitely ignore.
Oh, they should definitely ignore वाला तो यही होगा कि experience matters. कुछ नहीं होता है यार. Septo is such a operationally heavy business. 19-year-olds built it. Right. I met Cavalier last weekend, and he knows his stuff so well, right? Like, it's fine. Anyone can
Right.
study anything. Right?
Right.
He did his entire schooling in Dubai and came to India. Now, what's your excuse, right? So, like going in a different market altogether, and that too in such a like grocery delivery wala segment is very hard. So, experience does not matter. Everyone has a different perspective towards different markets. So it's fine. और पहला वाला जो फॉलो करना चाहिए, वो वही है, like wake up to a purpose and not money. तो आइडेंटिफाई कि क्या है वो लॉन्ग टर्म इम्पैक्ट जो तेरी स्टार्टअप कर रही है.
Money is an outcome. At the end of the day, it's not the ends of mean. Right. Right. Thank you so much, Harish, for joining this. I really had a great time, and I hope कि तुम लोग जो build कर रहे हो, especially the marketplace वाला, it really get a good response from the people और वो अच्छी तरीके से build हो जाए. I really hope. So that's the end of this podcast. I hope आपको entrepreneurship के बारे में नई चीज़ें सीखने को मिली होगी, एक नया perspective मिला होगा, और हरीश ने जो powerful insight share किए थे वो काफ़ी value adding रहे होंगे. तो अगर ये एपिसोड आपको अच्छा लगा हो, then please do drop a like, share this video with your friends and comment down your 3 learnings from this podcast. शेयर ज़रूर करना जो भी आपके 21-year-old 22-year-old आपके जो फ्रेंड्स हैं उनके साथ, बिकॉज उनको बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा इस एपिसोड में से. एंड कमेंट में ये भी बताओ कि और कौन से एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को हम ला सकते हैं ऑन एंटरप्रेन्योर टॉक्स. एंड लास्टली, hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon to never miss an update from the Spotlight India.